Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Dose. Jereme Kleven here, joined by Mark Hutchins, the Magic Man, and the Beast behind the glass, Mr. Byron Filson.
Hi.
Back for round 3 with the Hustle Russell. Back in the house, Mr. Russell
Welcome.
Shaw.
It's great to be here. Thank you again for having me.
Just an average year last year. We finished number 3 in Arizona, right?
I was number
3, 2?
5 in volume for all of Armless and number 2 in units for all of Armless.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was then that 2, 3. Yeah. So it's so decent year. High five to you.
Actually, it was a crappy year, but that's still where I finished.
Really?
Yeah.
It was crappy?
Well, I wanted to do about twice that much. So, it was
okay.
crappy. But what I wanted to tell you, you were talking when we were here yesterday, you were talking about that Brian Keller.
Yes.
You were talking about when you asked him about his CRM and his contact database and so forth, and he told you he used Excel.
Yeah, exactly.
It reminded me, I was once moderating a panel a few years back at an event. I think it was in Florida, but what made this funny is that I was the moderator, and I had three agents that were, I'm basically letting them answer almost all the questions, and I'm just fielding them.
Oh, yeah.
And I have maybe 300 people in the room. And one young man said he wanted to know which contact management system each one was using.
Right.
And the first person said, I don't know. My assistant handles that for me. I don't know what contact system we have. And the next one said, I don't know. I think we do have one, but I don't know the name of it.
So they don't have one.
They may not have one. That was funny to me. And then the third one said essentially the same thing. I think the third one said she was going to get one. She had heard about them and was going to get one. And the guy goes, he stands up. He's kind of frustrated. He wants to know the name. Like, are we talking, I can't even remember the names of them now, but one of them was the one that used to be connected to Realtor.com, and this other one that was there used to be under Remax, had a version of
Top agent or
Oh,
top
hell, I can't even
producer,
remember.
maybe top producer.
Yeah, top producer, and the other one was, anyway, it was the most famous one at the time. And he said, well, I want to know. And I said, well, I think you have an answer here that you're just missing, that you're talking, these are 3 of the top agents in the world standing in front of you, and they don't know.
Or they don't have one, or they don't know.
They don't know and don't care.
Right.
Like, that was so obvious. This is not what was important.
Yeah.
And he kept saying, but I want to know which kind to get. And I said, it doesn't matter what kind you get. That's not the thing. Like if you said to me, do I think you need to have some way to keep track of customers?
Yes.
Some way that you have in a computer, on a spreadsheet, or in a database. It could be ACT. Hell, I think you could use versions of Microsoft Word.
You remember Goldmine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to focus on that, only if you're an idiot, only if you're a cretin, are you going to you think that's the thing? Like if you're not going to make calls if you're not going to call people, what difference does it make?
You don't have anybody to put into the CRM.
What difference does it make which kind you don't use?
We say it all the time. If you don't, and we always say too, it's like, we say almost, in your words, I love how you say it. You say it better than we do, but seriously, you have a CRM. And just because you sign up for the CRM and make that first payment, it's not like it starts to shoot commission checks at you.
Right.
You have to put people in.
I'm not saying don't use one.
Sure.
You're not hearing
or use something. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And for management of escrows and stuff, there's online. But if you ask me, we have some deal on it's online. I don't even know. I honestly can't remember the brand. It's some online thing that we finally went to. But that's not what's important. That really is not the point.
No,
you'd have to have
feed
some
the machine.
system.
Feed it. That's what I was going to say too.
You got to feed the CRM.
Yeah,
you got to
feed the machine.
Right.
And there is never going to be like. I don't care how successful you've been. Like, let's take a brand like Cadillac. Their market share was shrinking drastically some years ago. Drastically. And you go, well, why? Well, you look back then, who was buying Cadillacs? Older people. What happens to older people? They die.
Yeah.
So Cadillac was literally losing their market share because their customers were dying. The Escalade came out and for the first time in years shot them back up.
Put a couple rappers in it in a rap video, and the rest is history, right?
But this is what made it go
Pretty
up.
much.
Yeah.
The thing you're looking at, what I'm getting at here is like, You think, well, once you're in business for years, it must be easy. Well, it gets a lot easier, but you still would have to contact customers or have some way to get them to contact you.
Absolutely.
And even if they contact you, you'd still have to be willing to communicate with them. And when you get into communicating with them, like you go, why does geographic farming work? I want to go back to that. Why does geographic farming work? Well, it's because from a marketing standpoint, you get in their head as the go-to person. I want you to get what I'm about to say next. When they don't need you, you get in their head as the go-to person when they don't need you. So that when they do need you, their defenses against hiring you are not up. They've already made a decision. You're the person because you're the one that's been contacting them all
It's
this
like
time.
you said, it's almost subtle. When they don't need you, it's almost a subtle form of marketing. Right.
Because if they don't need the service,
Right.
like, so when you're sending something out, let's say you had 1,000-person farm, which is too small, but I'll skip that for now. You had a farm of 1,000 homes. Well, if the turnover rate in that farm was 7%, that's 70 houses a year. If you're an astounding agent, and I mean unbelievable, after some years of doing it, you might capture 40 of them. If you're unworldly.
I mean, that's insane.
Yeah,
That's
probably closer to 20. So you're going to get 20 deals a year. Let me make it 24 to make the math simple. You're going to get 20, 24 deals a year out of this farm after you've done it for years. So every month when you do the mailing, you're sending something to the 1,000 people, and let's say they sold evenly, so 2 sales a month occurred that you actually could get. So 998 of them each month cannot and will not be your customer that month, no matter what you say. Only 2 of them. So why would anyone in their right mind want to come off like some high-pressure moron as opposed to be the trusted advisor, the trusted consultant, the person who they can come to if they have a question, so that when they do need your service, well, of course they're going to come to you.
The trusted advisor, the source of knowledge.
Value.
Right.
There's what makes farming work. Now take that and go, you're now standing at the guy's door. He didn't invite you. He didn't call you. You just knocked on the door because you're having an open house 2 blocks over. What's the difference?
Yeah, seriously.
Whether you mailed him something, whether you put it in the mail or emailed, or you're standing there handing it and go, I was just in the area. We're having an open house over here. I thought you might like this report. What if he doesn't like the report?
Right.
What difference does it make?
Right.
What if he never sees it, but it has your name and his name, or you hand it to him? Say, just wanted to pop by, can't stay. Anyway, if you know anyone that wants to buy or sell a house, please keep me in mind. I would feel honored to have your business. Have a great day. What's to not like?
There's nothing not to like.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
There you go. Here you go.
Love that line.
Real quick, what is, I don't know how deep you want to go to, what is a good number to have in your farm? You said 1,000's not enough.
Well, how many deals do you want to do? You'd have to figure the turnover rate. So you could take the county assessor's database. You take the area you're going to farm. You look at what the turnover rate is in any given year. So if you look at deed transfers of $10 or more or some such thing, so that you weed out people signing property to their husbands and that kind of thing. So you could actually see sales. So deed transfers that occurred that were at least $100, where somebody paid money. So you look at it. Well, how many of those occur a year in that farm? So you do that study first. Then I would do a carrier route study and do the entire area. The first thing I want to see, I'd pull up MLS in the area that I was considering farming and do a feasibility study for that area to see, is any other agent prominent in the neighborhood? If so, I may farm around them by using carrier routes. We just don't send to those carrier routes. Like I take 85032, most of it. But if somebody has a presence in a little niche, I am not going to go, well, I can steamroll them. No, I'm going to spend my marketing dollars on mailings to places where nobody has a presence. It's just easier and better to do that. The most important principle in marketing, which is why geographic farming works anyway, the most important principle is be first. Be first. Not best, first. Be the first one. And if you're first, you're in their mind. That's the person. That's the one who does it. So that's
so true.
So I when someone says, well, you can be the number 2 or number 3 agent in the area, they could say, and I'm a real dope. Why didn't they just go somewhere where they could be the number 1 person in the area?
Yeah. Right.
I'm the number 1 agent in here.
Yeah.
I'm the best person.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's powerful insight right there, into geographical farming. I mean, people can take that. And again, there's a lot more that goes into it than just throwing darts out there.
Yep.
So,
well, let's stop there. It's Friday, guys. Have a good weekend. And we're going to kind of get into next week, I think, a little more about 2016. I want to talk. Of course, it's hot. It's on everybody's docket. Russell, you said something, as far as when to plan or a good time to plan, or maybe if someone hasn't made a plan, you can kind of give some insight right now on what to be doing. So
we'll take that up Monday.
Have a great weekend, everyone. See you Monday.